It's
What
always
were you thinking?
okay. So I was thinking about the future of Smash Bros. Right? Came to me thinking. I was just kind of chilling, thinking of like what kind of characters we could have had and stuff. And I was starting to think about like future of Smash Bros. Right? Danny Sakurai mentioned that there's no way we'll have one as big as Ultimate. So it's like, well, what could they do for future Smash Bros? And this has led me down a list, down a path that could work. Probably some controversial things said in here. Gonna preface this. This is probably gonna sound a lot like when they cut half the Pokemon. and
All right.
Because one of the big things is we're gonna have to cut a lot of the fighters. It's definitely gonna
Yeah,
be
no, that's what Sakurai said, because bottom line is you need to get the rights for them for each individual game.
exactly.
It just Sora was almost a whole thing for 3 different games.
So, and then I was just trying to think, well, say we don't want as many characters. But even then, like, getting, like, all of the, like, not first-party characters is a massive undertaking. So I was just trying to think, well, and this all came for when I was trying to think of what, like, kind of moveset, while I was making some food, what kind of moveset, like, a Monster Hunter character would have. And I ended up just kind of making Ganondorf, but slightly better. And then it kind of got me down this list of, well,
Let me hold you up first off. I'm gonna caveat and say that Monster Hunter actually has a kind of rough draft of what its moveset would be in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I understand.
It'd just be more expanded.
I'm just thinking what I probably would have done if I did it, but even I would admit it probably wasn't the best moveset anyways. But what was I gonna say? And then it kind of got me thinking, okay, and this is where the biggest controversy comes in. What if we did something very different for all of the characters? Because Mario's had pretty much the same moveset with, minor upgrades since the beginning. What if we completely remake every character? Instead of just sticking to what we've had previously.
How so?
Well, okay, so I was like thinking, okay, so what does Mario use to fight in the 2D Mario games? He uses power-ups. Does he use power-ups in Smash Bros? No, he doesn't. So what if we remaked Mario's,
Fireball is a power-up. It's not an inherent power, so that is a power-up. Yes, he
kind
does.
of. It's the way he uses it isn't very power-up-ish, though.
Yeah, it is. It's just existing as a power-up. It's just a fireball. It's a power-up.
But, like, I was just kind of thinking, well, what if we were to, like, remake Mario so that he uses more drastic, like, power-up moveset and stuff?
So what you're thinking, but like, here's the question is, are you thinking Luigi should be more
I'm thinking we get rid of Luigi, which is controversial opinion number 1 right here. We getting rid of Luigi.
Well, Tony's downvoting this
I
video.
know. Oh, trust me. I'm going to say some shit where it's like, okay, we have to pick 2 Mario characters. Go. Which ones?
I'm going to curb you on this and say that the Nintendo characters are going to be the ones we're going to have to bank on the most, and so we should not get rid of them because we're going to lose so many already.
But here's the thing. And this is where the next part I was saying, instead of just changing the characters' movesets to be something completely different, we remove a lot of characters and replace them with others.
What do you mean?
So I was thinking, like, we don't need Dark Samus. Dark Samus is just Samus again.
What would we replace her with?
What if we were to just make similar to how they have Piranha Plant, who's Plant, but all the Piranha Plants? Why don't we just put Space Pirate, who's all the Space Pirates?
Because that's also, I can kind of agree with that, but the bottom line is you'd still have to, it'd just be a different character entirely. That's not replacing Dark Samus.
Not replacing, but yes, entirely different characters. That's why I'm saying, instead of just trying to do what we did previously, because we're not going to top Ultimate. We are never going to top Ultimate. So instead, we make an entirely different Smash Bros. Games. What does Smash Bros. Look like in an alternate universe? What if Mario didn't have the moveset he had? What if he had an entirely different moveset? What if instead of Bowser Jr. getting into the game, Waluigi got into the game? So no Bowser Jr., but we have Waluigi instead. What if instead of...
I'm sorry, Waluigi and no Luigi, you lost me.
I know. I know. This is... Well, Luigi would be alternate color for Mario. How's that sound? He's in. He's just back to being an alternate color where he belongs. Oh, no.
But what I'll say is this. We don't need another Smash Brothers. We need a branch. If we want to make a Nintendo fighting game, that's fine, because that's what you're pitching right now.
Yeah.
A majority of these characters, you need to get the rights every time for. And there are a couple that would be more than happy to do it multiple times. Banjo. Xbox is very forward with them being like, please take Banjo. Sonic never has an issue with this. Mega Man. Very easy to get a hold of Mega Man specifically. Right after they figured out what they wanted to do with it.
And I'm not saying we get rid of all the third-party characters. I say hold as many third-party characters as possible.
I'm saying that we're going to lose a lot of them, and there are only a scant few that we will be able to hold on to. But
That's why.
We're going to lose Snake.
That's
we're going to lose Snake.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I'm saying if we're going to do another Smash Bros. Or another fighting game in general... And mind you, I'm saying we're drastically overhaul the characters. Everything else, mostly the same. But I'm just saying, if we do Smash Bros. Again, we have to change it to almost like an alternate universe Smash Bros. Everybody who we can give like different movesets to, and it still makes sense, we give different movesets to. Because one thing is Ganondorf. He's a big, heavy guy. But in the game,
Ganondorf, they changed his moveset from all of the three prior that he was into this one. It's completely different almost. All of his smash attacks
still could be mapped out to Captain Falcon's moveset. I'll say that. But
no, it could not. He doesn't. He has a swing. He has a sword. It completely changes it.
But no,
Bottom line is this.
Hold on. Let me finish talking about Ganondorf. I was saying you could probably keep most of his smash moves the same, his actual sword moves the same, but, and then this is where we drastically change him to make it almost entirely different game. His specials, we make him more of a ranged wizard character he was in the games. Give him the wizard spells. Make it, no, and I know you're saying, that sounds bad, and some of this stuff is probably gonna be like...
I'm saying for a reason. I'm letting you keep going, but I'm saying...
I'm saying is like the more similar it is to the previous Ultimate, the more it'd be competing with Ultimate. So what I'm saying for a lot of the side grade is let's just not compete with Ultimate. Let's just do something completely different. If you
then it's not Smash.
Kinda.
No, it's not. It's just a different game.
That's why I'm saying we only change the characters.
Oh, but you're saying make the characters something completely different. Make the game something completely different. It's not Smash then. Which means just name it something different. That's okay. It's not a bad thing to do that. It'd still be fun as long as they kept quality assurance high. But like, don't make any illusions that it would still be considered Smash or it should be considered Smash, because Smash is a very specific style of thing.
Is
it? Yeah. It literally made the party brawler. It created.
I mean, I'm not saying we don't make a party brawler.
Okay, it made the party brawler and made and showcased consistency throughout its life cycle with a majority of the skeletons of every character's moveset. So what I'm saying here is the moment you change that and you try to make it something completely different, as you said, it isn't really Smash.
Just their movesets?
Well, it's the movesets, and I'm gauging this on the fact that you said something completely different. I'm betting you mean the way we combat each other too, because otherwise, as you said, we'd be competing with Smash. So the issue here is no matter what you do, as long as you have a skeleton of Smash in there, you're technically going to be competing with Smash. It's unavoidable in that context.
I guess the idea is that we don't completely avoid competing with Smash, but we competed in a way like, say Crash Team Racing is competing with Mario Kart.
That's yes and no. What I'll say is Crash Team Racing was an improvement upon the existing Mario Kart at the time. And that's not something that we can do here.
Is it?
You know what I mean? No. Not really. Not based on the information I have in front of me. Which is that this Smash Brothers is really fun. It's really kooky. It's got a fuck ton of characters. They all play kind of different. Like, some of them are a little similar, but whatever. Not to the point where it's a deal breaker for me. And it feels good. Now, the problem here is that Ultimate is a bar, right? Mario Kart was a bar at the time, but it was a lot of stuff that you could do to topple that bar. But this is like high-end. I don't know how to explain this. It's different than it was back on the N64 versus PlayStation era because there isn't as much to uncover in the technological aspect of gaming. If we're talking just like controller-based gaming, there isn't as much to make it crazy different. You know what I mean? It's like a good example. Mario Kart. This was way before Mario Kart Double Dash, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So all you could do was race, skid, and jump. It's fun. It's great. Mario Kart 64 is a fantastic game. We can agree on that.
Well, you still got the items, too.
Yep. Crash Team Racing added a fuck ton more personality, like a stylization that Mario kind of had, kind of didn't in some areas. The graphics were better. That's a big thing that people kind of scoff at these days, but back then that mattered, you know? The item choice was about as varied, so like that they broke even on. The drifting was far better, and the characters were equitable. So, like, even if it was barely, the drifting and the graphics pushed Crash Team Racing above 64.
Gotcha. Okay.
But barely. But that's not something that's as easy to do now. And if they are losing that much, as opposed to like another game, like if there's a Nintendo-based fighter, right, that has more fighters versus less fighters, what the fuck are you doing with the less fighters one? Unless it plays like you're getting jerked off, I don't see a point.
So that's where it kind of comes off to where kind of the other idea I slightly had. So one thing I've noticed, and this is very obvious, that the DLC fighters tend to be a lot more fleshed out than the non-DLC fighters.
Some are, yes. Some of the non-DLC fighters did get a lot more vamping because, you know, patches are the thing now. But
well,
yeah,
that's just balance. But I mean, like in like the whole moveset, like some of them have entire mechanics, like Steve and stuff. So that's kind of what.
I wouldn't have used Steve. I would have used Hero. Because Steve is just like a gimmick, less flesh, more gimmick. But like Hero is flesh.
Okay, well, like, with a game like Smash Bros, gimmick isn't bad.
For Steve, it's a little rough, is what I'll say. I wouldn't say bad, but I'd say rough.
But that's kind of one of the things I want to do is like if you're gonna end up with less characters, what if we made every character like as good and fleshed out and detailed as some of the DLC characters?
And then Nintendo wouldn't be working on it.
What do you
That's
mean by
the sad truth. I mean, Nintendo doesn't know how to make a legitimately fleshed out fighter in that capacity.
Okay, well, I'm going with hypotheticals with this discussion, obviously.
Oh, so. I'm going with theoreticals, but like possible theoreticals, because that's why I thought we were going with this, because that was what you posited to me is like I have ideas, and ideas usually dictate posits that are possible.
Okay.
So I just am looking towards like what could they do, because that was what we were
Well, I just think to Pokemon where it's like, okay, so they cut off half the Pokemon. Did they make the game a lot better in exchange? No.
Yeah, no, it was I mean, that's my point.
But in the
Nintendo has a
hypothetical
history of
world where
that.
Nintendo can actually erase half the characters and actually make a better game, I was just thinking like, okay, so Mario has his power-ups now. What if he has different power-ups that he powers up to, and that changes his moveset? What if he turns into Fire Mario, and now his Fireball is ridiculously powerful?
What I will say is, if you're trying to make another fighting game with a bunch of characters in it, but not as nearly as many, change the format.
Change the format?
I'm saying take it out of 2D, make it 3D.
3D Smash Bros. Ooh, now there's a take.
Oh, I mean, I'm on the mind that it, at this point, is no longer Smash Brothers.
I mean, Smash
Brothers peaked. It peaked. You know, its hair is now going to fall out, and its back is going to continue to worsen for the remainder of its goddamn life. Smash has peaked.
Well, I would say a 3D sumo fighter would be kind of fun.
No. I'm thinking along the lines of a Tekken.
Oh, you want to make it freaking Tekken with Mario characters?
If you want them to have better fighting styles, then yes, you should have them handle
So
that.
here's where my issue with that almost comes into, and this is where we have to get like very careful with 3D fighter, is that a lot of the interesting aspects of a lot of the Nintendo characters in particular is their movement. So it's limiting it to like a Tekken or a Street Fighter would limit their movements to the point where it's like they wouldn't feel the same. If Kirby's not flying high in the sky, he ain't much Kirby now, is he?
No, well, actually, I have a counterpoint to this. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. They are in a 2D environment as Saiyans. A whole thing about them is that they can fly around and do crazy shit. But they were able to make it feel like you could still do all of that crazy shit in a 2D environment by making it dynamic.
And that's why I said this would be difficult to do. I mean,
just put Arc System Works on it is the answer.
But I mean, I as an example, Pokken Tournament did a pretty good job of making a lot of their Pokemon move pretty good. But also none of the Pokemon actually fly, so they avoided a lot of the like flying Pokemon and stuff.
Well, yes, and that's something that like this would be a start point, right?
Yeah.
You need to accept, just like Pokken Tournament, this is a start point. If they made another Pokken Tournament, I would expect there to be more variation and range in what I can do. I expect there to be a bigger arena. I expect there to be the same type of combat, just in a wider area. Basically, that's all people need to do with these types of 3D fighting games. J-Star's Victory Versus did it the exactly wrong way with the right intentions.
Yeah.
While Pokken Tournament is a pretty easy showcase of how to do it, now you just gotta enlarge the scope.
I don't know.
That's all.
I do wonder if an arena fight. God, I feel like there have been some arena fighters with like almost like J-Stars, but maybe with more verticality that could actually work in 3D. Power Stone would be pretty good. Something like Power Stone would be pretty good.
It was fantastic.
Because I'm just thinking of like verticality would be kind of important to a lot of Nintendo characters, so you would want more verticality. So when I think of like Tekken, I'm like, they barely jump. There's no verticality in Tekken, not poking it or anything. So I would think like something like Power Stone would probably fit more better.
or if you took the arena size and the movement styles of Tenkaichi 3, like not necessarily the fighting, because that was garbage, but their arenas allowed for not just movement, but destructible environments.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like with platforming and stuff, I almost think like having something like, and this is gonna sound stupid, something like the Great Cave Offensive stage, but in 3D would actually sound kind of, I kind of want something like that, but what if we were to do something like the City Trial mode from Kirby Air Ride? Or the Smash Run mode?
I think the Great Cave Offensive could work in 3D. I think it was awfully done in 2D.
Obviously. But I was thinking if we did something like the Smash Run mode, that would also be really cool mode for this type of 3D fighter. So one thing about Nintendo games is obviously there'd be large groups. So having kind of a largest arena to run around finding each other and power up would make great multiplayer too, instead of just make it like a 2D fighting game.
So you're looking at it like the Breakers, Dragon Ball Z, the Breakers, kind of.
Kinda,
where
yeah.
You have to search.
Only instead of one powerful character, everybody's hunting each other down and beating the crap out of each other.
No, see, you almost have me with that, but you lose me at the point where I'm searching for people for a lot of the game at some points.
Well, there are ways around that, you know.
Well, then what's the point of having that at all? Because it's just a tedious thing, right?
Maybe change the size of the stage. It doesn't have to be as big as a Breaker stage or anything.
I don't know. I think the way
stage, make it a little bit more dynamic, so there are things to do while you're searching.
The way you're dictating it makes it sound like it would be better as an online MMO style thing.
That actually almost wouldn't be bad either.
Like in that specific style you're dictating, because the style I'm talking about works like on online battles, but also single player. But like the one you're talking about, it sounds more like an online MMO style thing.
So here's another thing: we could do both. They could just be different modes. They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Oh no, I know, but like I'm just letting you know, like they sound like they're separate entities.
And that's true, and you know what? Different modes make for more fleshed out games.
But Nintendo doesn't make those.
They had Smash Run and Smash 4.
It was so good, right? Yeah, you remember that?
It could have been better if you could find each other on the field and beat the crap out of each other.
Oh, I know, right? It was so good. It was such a great mode.
And you know what?
Smash Brothers is such a diverse series of games that have so much other than just the Great Cave Offensive. Oh wait, that's in Kirby.
Oh yeah. But what was it? You got the different story modes with their weird, slightly different gameplays to them, where you're going around the map and stuff. They got different modes and stuff. You just have to make a good mode. You just have to make an actually good one that has time put into it.
All I'm going to say is this cannot be sourced to Nintendo directly. Nintendo can make some good Mario shit, which people are like, oh, it plays really well. It's a fun Mario game. But like you objectively look at it next to excuse me. Beer burps. You objectively look at it next to something like, let's say, I'm not going to say Dark Souls because that's a different type of like surface level. It's rough underneath. Once you realize what it is, it's amazing. You know what I mean? Once you look at it next to something like Witcher 3.
Yeah.
You realize there's a lot missing from that sandwich that you're taking a bite out of.
I don't know.
Nintendo's not very good at giving sausage to the soup.
I know. What was it? Someone described to me the Harry Potter universe. Great world, terrible stories.
Yeah. 100% agree. 100% agree. That's the same thing with no. Lord of the Rings has great world and great stories. Fuck.
But yeah, and then
sorry, pivot. I want to pivot for a second. I remember where we're at. Don't worry. I'm just gonna pivot because I mentioned Lord of the Rings. I want more Lord of the Rings Shadow of games. More games like that. God damn it! That game was so fucking good, and Monolith Soft needs to know what I want and give it to me.
They are great. Unfortunately, the second one got bogged down by trash.
Well, and now they're making fucking Gollum. Yeah, because I want a Lord of the Rings platformer.
Oh, platformer stealth game. Thank you very much.
Dude, that's garbage. I want to play as Aragorn after he leaves Rivendell and goes to join the Dunedains. I want to turn into Strider.
I want to be fucking that Legolas with this cool flippy arrow shit.
Do the flippy dippy. Do the flippy dippy.
Yeah, the flippy dippy. Okay, so pivoting back real quick.
Right.
One thing I've always wanted from Nintendo, and they're almost getting it with Mario Kart 8, is that all of Mario's sports games and side games should integrate non-Mario characters.
I bet you I can be more depressing than you were just there.
Oh, yeah?
I want another F-Zero game.
Oh, yeah. So, Joey, one of the things I was going to say is we might have to cut Captain Falcon from the new Smash Bros. Games just to slim down the thing, because he hasn't had a game in forever.
No, we do not cut Captain Nip. We cannot cut Captain Fabulous.
See, that's why I said about controversial opinions. I'm like, we got to cut Luigi. We have to cut Falcon.
Izzy's got my back on this. Captain Fabulous and those button nipples are staying.
Yeah. You know, I was like,
that's the line, buddy. Dude, if I was to think of anybody to cut, fucking Daisy doesn't need to be there. And
Daisy don't.
Oh, Luigi does, but Daisy doesn't because she's a side character who's only in one mainline game. But like Luigi has his own games, and technically Peach does too, so they belong there. Bowser's had his own game technically that you can play as an inside story counts.
So you say only characters with their own games? That erases the two other Star
Give me one sec. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look at the list real quick. I'm going to look at this list, and I'm going to dictate to you exactly the ones I think that should be gone. And I don't give a fuck what people think about my opinions here, because it matters to me.
Joey, if I told you you had to bring the list down to half its size.
It's doable. Take out Ike, Lucina.
You said Ike? Ooh. Okay, well.
Switch out Roy with Elwood, Lynn, or Hector from Blazing Blade, because that technically was the first Fire Emblem in America, and we do need a rep from that one. And Roy was not released in America.
Oh, yeah.
So switch him with one of the three main characters from the first Fire Emblem we got here. So I'm gonna go through a tear on the Fire Emblem characters. Take out Lucina. Well, no, take out Chrom because we need a female. Take out Ike. Take out Robin. Take out Corrin. Take out Byleth.
Well, one thing I always say is for every character we remove, we can also replace one. Like, Lucina, we don't need Lucina. We can replace her with someone else.
We need a rep from Awakening because it reinvigorated the series.
That's true.
So what I'll say
but
here,
I will say Robin would probably be a better one to keep on that point.
Let me read it down, all right? So Dark Samus, you're right. Get rid of Dark Samus, all right?
I will say probably keep every villain. Don't get rid of any of the villains.
So get rid of Dark Samus, get rid of Lucas, get rid of Jigglypuff, get rid of Daisy, get rid of Ice Climbers. Sorry, Ice Climbers. They literally haven't had a game since the NES.
Dude, a mountain climbing game actually sounds pretty rad.
Put Sheik back on Zelda as a singular character. Get rid of Dr. Mario, get rid of Pichu, get rid of Falco, get rid of Young Link, get rid of...
Probably both Young Link and Toon Link, honestly.
Toon Link, we could make an argument. It depends on who else I get rid of.
Well, one of the things I was going to say is... one thing you could do is you could, Link has had a lot of different items. If you want to make a Link with an entirely different moveset and then keep, like, Young Link the same moveset, that could work too.
See, my whole thing here is that, like, I think that we need to make a Link that's not Breath of the Wild Link, but he can still use, like, all the items throughout the series. So it's just regular adult Link.
Yeah.
With items throughout the series. The only thing that he doesn't have is he doesn't have the Toon Link series of items, and that's what Toon Link would have.
Oh, yeah.
Because those two series are separate and have enough items to give them a full combat system that's entirely different.
Yeah.
Including Toon Link having a charged blade that is entirely different in its effect, in that it makes you move around while you do it, as opposed to regular Links whose would shoot out an energy wave.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there right now. I was going to say replace Roy with Elwood, Hector, or Lynn. I would do Lynn because she's my waifu for waifu.
That would probably be too close to like Marth and them. I'd say Hector or
Lindis uses a katana.
Yeah.
And she actually uses it like a katana. There's no other character in the series that uses a sword like a katana. Even the guy who has a goddamn katana.
Sephiroth?
Yeah. That's why I wanted fucking Virgil. Because
Virgil.
he uses his katana like a goddamn katana.
I think another thing, just to keep variety's sake, because, you know... And another point is, we have a game with Cloud and Sephiroth. If we wanted a different game, we could just replace those two with different Final Fantasy characters.
Oh no, replace Sephiroth, don't replace Cloud. So I'm gonna keep going. Get rid of Dark Pit. Sequester Zero Suit Samus into Samus again. But give it a better Final Smash to make it happen and give them better moves for the 3 moves to compensate. Snake's gone. Wario, give him his WarioWare moves, but also give him his goddamn Wario Land moves.
Both?
Yeah.
Dude, he's had some weird moves like those wrestling moves from Wario World are amazing. Why don't I get a pile driver?
You do. Yeah. Get rid of Snake. Get rid of Ike. Put Pokemon Trainer as one goddamn Pokemon, and that's it, and that should be Pikachu. Make Pokemon Trainer and Pikachu one thing. Like, makes no sense to me. What the fuck is that? Why is that a problem? Get rid of Lucas. Sonic is gone.
I think Sonic will keep.
We'll see. Sonic's a we'll see, okay? I'll give you that. King Dedede keep. Olimar keep because people like Pikmin a lot. Get rid of Lucario. Sorry, Lucario. Mewtwo's more popular than you. Get rid of Rob because he's a gimmick and nobody likes him. Keep Toon Link. Keep Wolf because we need somebody else other than just Fox.
If you want the real villain, put Slippy instead of Wolf.
Well, what the fuck would his moveset be? That's my issue. Is we wouldn't be able to make a very good moveset for Slippy.
I'm joking. I was joking with that one.
Get rid of Wii Fit Trainer. Not because Izzy uses him or anything like that, but because Wii Fit Trainer, I don't get why it's in the game at all.
You could replace the Wii Fit Trainer with that Ring Fit character. People love the Ring Fit character.
Yeah. Actually, yes. You know what? Yes. Ring Fit is way better than Wii Fit.
And you wouldn't have to change the moveset too much.
Get rid of Rosalina.
Oh, yeah. No Rosalina.
No Greninja. We keep the Mii Fighters because that's good. That's always good in the game to give you customization. Get rid of Palutena. Pac-Man would be hard to keep, so probably get rid of him.
I'd still say if we could keep Pac-Man, he'd be a good old game rep.
Maybe, but like once again, it's one of those maybes.
Yeah.
Robin's gone. We want to keep Lucina for that one because female rep, you know? You got to have that. Shulk, I guess we'll keep. Bowser Jr.'s gone. Duck Hunt will keep. Ryu, Ken, gone. Cloud, kept. Corinne, Bayonetta. Bayonetta we keep. Corinne is gone. Inkwing we keep. Ridley is gone. I'll say why in a moment. Simon we keep. Richter is gone. King K. Rool is gone. Isabel's gone. And Cinderella's gone.
I will say we should replace Richter with Dracula. Just saying.
No, I think that we need a Belmont, and Simon was the main character of the first 2 games.
I said replace Richter, not Simon.
Oh, no. No. If anybody wants anything, it's Alucard.
Alucard would be a pretty good rep, too. Honestly, let's get all 3. I don't care. Add an extra one for Castlevania.
But let me look at the DLC fighters real quick and see what I want. Piranha Plant can stay. Joker's gone. Hero's gone.
That's a weird stay. Get rid of Rosalina, but keep Piranha Plant. That's a weird one.
It's easy to put them in there, probably.
Probably, but honestly, there's a long list of things. Like, if we're cutting hard, we're cutting Piranha Plant.
Okay.
Trim the hedge. Trim the hedge, if you will.
We're keeping Min Min.
Honestly, we could probably, if we wanted to, we could do like the Bowser Jr. thing and have Min Min just switch characters.
No, we want to keep Min Min because it's the only rep from ARMS and it is technically.
No, I meant like switch like the ARMS characters as different ults.
No, because Min Min is No, because they all have different martial arts styles.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Fair.
Yeah. Like, see the dude with the dick haircut doing like Chinese martial arts. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, we could probably homogenize it a little bit.
I don't see anybody but Min fitting in. I guess we could maybe make an argument for Byleth, but that's about it for the DLC fighters. So that brings it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38. About 41 characters.
Ooh, you did do half. About.
Yep. Yep. It's because I'm good at my job.
Oh yeah, real good. But yeah, and then like I said, if we needed to cut more, we could cut and replace too.
I have a cat here, and he's like, "Hello."
But yeah.
I mean, no, we don't want to cut too many, but bottom line is we can keep these ones and not have to fight for them.
Oh yeah.
Because they're all in-house.
Well, also, as I was saying, we want to for my idea is to just make every character a little bit more like in depth, make the game a little bit deeper. So put more time in each character to make up for the that we have less characters.
It's easy to fix by making Arc System Works and Bandai Namco work on them to make it kind of like a larger scale Tekken.
Yeah, something like that.
That's fixed by that. Because Arc System Works is really good at making crazy combos, and Tekken people are really good at putting depth into their games.
Well, I will say another thing, and this is one thing to always, I hate to consider, slight casualness, crazy combos probably don't fit as well.
Make parries more interesting.
I don't know. I don't want this to turn this into the fighting game. You need 20,000 hours just to learn the combos type of situation.
Oh no, it's never like. Bottom line is this: I would never dictate that this should be a King of Fighters 03 game.
Okay.
Because King of Fighters 03 is its own thing, and they do their own thing, and that's 2D. But combos need to be considered here as pretzel combos should be brought in, but not integrated at a high level. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I'm just thinking, like, I don't want to.
This is the only way not to compete with Mario with Smash in this capacity without making it kind of weird.
I just don't want little Timmy to jump in and then get 0 to death by a super combo. You know what I'm saying?
Bottom line is this: every Smash game has a 0 to death. Every Smash game has a 0 to death combo.
Those are usually ridiculous and gimmicky.
Right,
but
like every 0 to death combo. Okay. So they'll exist, but we're not gonna like act like them existing is a condemnation of the game, because they exist in every single fighting game.
All
because
right.
Fighting game fans are able to find stupid shit everywhere. The trick here is like, let me be clear: Izzy found a 0 to death combo with Kazuya.
Did he?
Now, yeah. Now, bottom line is, if he can land it, it's 0 to death. Sometimes he can't land it though. But they exist in every game.
Is it 0 to death against Lil Mac?
No, it's 0 to death against a medium-sized character, which is a 0 to death. Once it's against a medium, I consider it 0 to death. Easy. Right. A 0 to death against a heavy character still scares me, and I know they exist, and I don't want to encounter one. Usually it's from a light character. But my point here is, pretzel combos being introduced into a game doesn't necessarily deter players, because Kazuya's still fun, to play as.
Is he fun to play against?
Yeah, no. If you are good at the game and the other person is good at the game, then he's like, yeah, he's fun. If he's bad at the game, it's not fun. If you're bad at the game, it's not fun. I don't know. Like, it's fighting game logic, man.
It's hard.
It's not fun to lose.
Isn't it? Like, it's hard because, like, how do we keep the super cashiness without going into...
You don't.
This is...
You don't. You need... That's the bottom line here, is you cannot compete with that. You can't compete with Ultimate. You're going to lose sales because of that. Because Ultimate's going to last for a decade at least.
So you're saying you don't want the Nintendo game to be super cash?
I don't want it to be super cash anymore. I think that it needs to exist in a realm that is between the two.
In between the two? In between sounds alright. I know Poker Tournament gets ridiculous on the high levels and isn't as super cash.
Well, yeah, and it's based on Tekken. It's possible.
But it is also more cash than Tekken, so...
well, yeah, but it's not Tekken, though.
Alright.
It's just based on it, right?
Right.
The whole combat system is based entirely on Tekken's. It's a simplified version of an extremely complex fighting game. That makes it about average in terms of complexity. That's what we should aim for. Or that's what I think would be a good aiming spot.
Yes. A simplified version of a complicated game system.
Because, like, I'm not thinking objectively here. BlazBlue and Guilty Gear have some of the most complex fighting game systems in the entirety of the sphere. They're fast, they're hard to get off, and when you can, it looks like you did magic. Do I think that that's insane? Yes. Do I think that it should be in every game? No. Do I think that some people just want to look fucking cool? Yeah. Do I think that's okay? Yeah. Sometimes I just want to push B and use a Warlock punch and scare the shit out of Izzy. You know?
We need to find the in-between of that. I think
exactly.
I'm thinking about that. I'm like, oh yeah, you mean like Xenoverse 2?
No, we would be a lot more... We would actually play test the game.
Yeah, we would actually make a good game.
Oh, let me be clear. Xenoverse 2 is a fun game. It's good. The problem is it's not very responsive, and it's got a lot of lag time on a lot of the movements you do. That's my entire issue with it. I'm going to be clear. That's my entire issue. It's got a lag issue, and there's a lot of input delay. And that's not good for an online fighting game.
Ugh.
But other than that, Xenoverse 2 is phenomenal. It plays like butter usually. It's well, like when you're doing solo play.
When you actually the game isn't under any type of pressure.
But you're under pressure to make sure it's not under pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I still think, moving away from fighting games, I brought this up earlier, that Nintendo should put all their IPs into other types of games more often. I still want to see the all Nintendo racing game. Nintendo Kart.
Dude, no, because they're already doing a Final Fantasy one. They'll never fucking do it now.
Oh, yeah. Where's my Mario football, but you have all the Nintendo characters? I want Body Toad with Ganondorf.
Yo, that's my character, and you're not allowed to touch Ganondorf. I am the WAP Goblin. You know what you can have? Everybody other than the WAP Goblin and Monkey Kong.
You ever see the Mario Strikers Charged game? That game is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking good. Dude, it's great.
I want more violent like Mario games like that, where the Mario characters are just beating the shit out of each other in sports.
Your mind is perpetually inside of Newgrounds.
Oh yeah.
I just want violence in my child video games.
I know. I can't help it. Mario Rugby would be the shit.
Mario Rugby.
It would be the shit, and you know it.
I have no opinions on any kind of rugby, so I don't.
Rugby is like football, except for when you get tackled, the play still keeps going. Everyone tackles each other trying to get the ball. They would beat the shit out of each other trying to get that damn ball, and it would be great.
Ooh, Jiminy Christmas.
It would be the most violent shit ever because, you know, rugby has rules. Mario does not.
You want to know what I hope happens?
Yeah?
I hope there are 2 game series that I want to make a 3rd game.
Go ahead.
Rage? Because I played it and it still plays like butter.
I mean, those games are very solid shooters.
Like Rage 1 is awful. Rage 1 is terrible and it has no substance to the suit. And I get the issues. Yeah. It literally is Outer Worlds without the good gameplay.
Yes.
That's the comparison. Rage 2, like, it plays like Borderlands 3, but like the guns alt fires are really cool. Like, you get a sword that can shoot laser beams and shit like that, and like, I don't know. I think that if they made a 3rd one, they might hit it out the park because it's the people who made Doom. And then Jump Force. Try again. Don't make them look so creepy.
God, Jump Force. God damn that game.
I haven't talked to him, one of our friends, in a long time because, like, he got on my nerves. And he really likes Jump Force. And one time I bit his head off about it. I'm like, dude, the game's awful. It's non-responsive on a lot of the stuff you do. There's lag time where there shouldn't be. Sometimes it glitches out.
Dude, fundamentally, I just think the game is bad. I just try to use literally any move, and because every move has a startup, I just get punched.
Yeah, including your punches. Though your punches have a startup.
And then you get punched for it.
It's
default combo is the best move in the game.
Yeah. Just square, triangle every day. It's like you're playing Dynasty Warriors or some shit. And I'm like, Dynasty Warriors is acceptable for that because of the swaths of minions they send at you for you to mercilessly slaughter. But that one is a 1v1. Nuh-uh. Not there.
Meanwhile, I was watching some videos of Naruto Shippuden 4. I'm like, damn, that game's got depth. It's what Jump Force should have been. Dude,
like, those devs, did you see the Demon Slayer? Because they made the Demon Slayer fighting game.
I haven't seen the Demon Slayer fighting game yet. Is it?
We have it. It's so smooth.
Damn.
They make a nice wide arena, and the combat is like buttery.
See, here's the thing.
Items you can use smooth in.
A lot of people are like, I don't like 3D arena fighters. And I just think about it, I'm like, that's because nobody's made a good one. It's like the 3D Sonic games. They could be good.
That's the
same thing. And they made great ones before. But everybody just looks at all the failures and like, oh, that whole genre is trash. Right. And I'm like, no.
Well, everybody's hang-ups are about like following favoritism usually. Because when Naruto's fighting games were out, you had those swaths of people either from our grade because Naruto came out in 03, right? Or from like in college or from our age bracket or some shit that were just like, well, I don't want to be a normie and enjoy Naruto.
Dude, Naruto is the pinnacle of like weeb.
No, I'm going to be clear here. There are video games based on anime that are better than their anime.
Oh, I know.
Sword Art has a game based on Fatal Bullet.
Yeah,
so good.
You told me it was fantastic.
It's a great third-person shooter. Like, it shouldn't be that good, but it is.
And I just think, at the end of the day, I think just about there aren't any like done genres or styles of games most of the time. I just think you just got to make them good. You just got to make them good. Just make your games good.
I do think there are some dumb genres. Gambling games are awful.
Gambling games where you don't gamble actual money are perfectly fine. I love them.
I just don't like gambling games in general. I think that they are bad for people in general because they feed addiction.
That's true. As somebody who's big on game theory and stuff, I'm like, yeah, test your gambling skills. But
yeah, there's no skill in gambling. If it's actually gambling, there's no real skill
that's true,
involved.
and that's one of those
Unless
things where it's
you're
like,
cheating.
but here's the thing. How about you just make it good, Joey? You can make gambling games that are good.
Well, what does that even
pure
mean?
Gambling.
What does that even mean? Well, then it's not a gambling game.
I don't know. It's a game about gambling, and you gamble.
Yup, that's a gambling game.
What
So
define gambling game?
Here is the moment you put like a gambling aspect in the game, that takes over the aspects of the game for me. And I will not. At the very least, I will not play that part of the game, and I will hate it.
Because like I play games like Blood Bowl. Everything you do in Blood Bowl is completely fucking randomized, done by the dice, and if you fail, you lose your entire turn, and it fucking blows. But like,
I think that you're not getting what I mean by gambling games.
I think I know what you mean. I think it's a very narrow view of what.
I think you think I mean that like, oh, there's a casino in this game, and you can play blackjack. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, loot boxes.
Oh, you're talking about loot boxes? That's not really gambling. A genre. That's just a bad mechanic.
At this point, Jesse, that's a genre. It's a genre at this point. It's definitely a genre at this point. It's been around so long, and nobody's stomped it out. So, like, almost every modern game has some form of loot boxes.
That's why I call it a mechanic, because it's just a mechanic.
Right, but it overarches throughout the entire game and infects it, which forces it to... It's kind of like if I was infected by Venom back when he was a sociopath. That.
Oh, no.
Entirely. I don't like it. I don't like any type of game that includes that in it. I think that if I play the game, I steer away from it, and I look at it with disdain, and I lose some respect for it as a result, because the bottom line is they don't have respect for me if they include that.
Oh, I know. Those games are trash. I stay away from them. I don't think I've ever bought a loot box in my life.
Yeah, me neither. I've looked at them and I've read about them, and I realized real quick.
I did buy some card packs in Hearthstone.
Oh my god.
I know.
You wanna know what my favorite argument is? Loot boxes are just Pokemon card packs, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's because, like, you can totally... Yeah, alright.
To be fair, those card packs are pretty predatory in themselves.
Card packs, anything that, like, makes you gamble some money for, like, even just a piece of paper or a digital thing, are predatory. It's why I haven't bought Pokemon cards in years, you know, or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like,
I will at least defend the idea that at least with the real cards, you could get a super rare one and sell it back to get some semblance of cash back.
Well, I mean, you could sell items in certain games back too. Like in CS:GO, there was a thing that you could sell for $1 million. It was a knife. That's all it was in game.
That at least removes the sting. But at that point, I feel like it shouldn't be in any kids' games. It's like, well, if there's actual value to it, I could be like, fine, as long as it's not super predatory. But and like you could sell it back and stuff. It's like, well, it's not super predatory. You can make some money off of it, fine. But at that point, it's like only for adults, though. Do not put that in any game that a kid will be playing.
That's the problem, though, is that no one gives a fuck. Well, the people like a Hawaii Bandit loot boxes.
Oh yeah.
But it's definitely not being enforced.
Well, like somebody could just go to a different state, buy it, and move back.
That's what I mean. It's not being enforced. Because like if you're going to enforce it, it shouldn't be allowed in the state. If it, just from the top of my head, that's where my mind goes with that, you know. And that's not the way that's handled. Like good example, you can't buy Call of Duty World War II in Germany. They're very talking about Like they talk about their role in the war, but they don't like looking at made up media about it.
Oh yeah, somewhat understandable.
Yes and no. You can buy it out of state, bring it in. They won't charge. You won't get in trouble for it. I'm pretty sure. I haven't read anything where anybody did, and like I know German people who have played their games that like Call of Duty World War II, and it was a PAL version, obviously. But I don't know.
I mean,
it's
it
one of
sounds
those
like
things
Call
where
of
it's
Duty
not.
World War II goes is like, here you play as a Nazi, you gas the Jews, and the game tells
Oh
you.
no! I'm not saying that like you do anything nasty.
I
in the
know
game.
that's
I'm
what
not
I was saying. I was like, you don't
I'm
do any of
just
that stuff,
saying.
so.
I'm just saying like enforcement of a ban for games, like usually they're like they sound heavy and on the surface, and in state when you try to get them in state you get in trouble, but out of state not too often do you get in trouble. And then you can just bring it with you, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm always the type of person who's like, you can put anything you want in games as long as you do it with tact.
I have a barrier. I have barriers. I do. The school shooting games.
Have
See, like
have any of those games done it with tact though? Like maturity.
That's my point though. Is like even if they attempted to, I still would be like, I don't want to see that. Now, I'm not going to say it should be banned, but I don't personally want to see that in front of my face. Like you put it in front of me, I'm going to tell you shut it off or I'm leaving.
Fair enough. What, you don't like Gal Gun?
That is a completely different thing, and you know it.
It's a game where you go and shoot up your classmates. Thank you very much.
And make them all horny. It's really creepy.
I know it's really creepy. It's an entirely different kind of problem. But
it's like you're trying to make them rape you.
Ugh.
It's awful. That's like such a weird fantasy fetish. Like, I want to preface all this with like your porn games and your fetishes to an extent are yours to enjoy as you will. Fine. Obviously, I say to an extent because there are certain things that I will not abide, pedophilia being one of them.
What, your cartoon
what
Loli,
the fuck,
who's
man?
only who's 200 years old but looks 5, isn't okay with you?
You fucking, I have that video on saved of why did you draw them like that? I have that shit saved, man.
Oh,
because like, sure, you're telling the truth and that's the fact, but I don't like that it's drawn that way. That's just the way it is. Is like you're right. They're 400. The canon is they are 400. Why the fuck did you draw them like that?
They always talk like they had no control over their actions.
Oh, and if there is not a good explanation, because some are cursed, is an easy one to fall on. You know, I was a cursed murderer who was forced into this body. Okay, I guess. You know, I'm not happy about it, but it's something.
Well, you know what? How about we just don't sexualize those characters, huh? You can have those characters, just don't, make.
Well, yeah, no, they can wear full pants. Yeah. You know, they can wear a full shirt.
Just like, oh hey, this really sucks. I'm really weak, and I keep my clothes on.
Well, they don't care, man. They know it sells.
Oh, Japan.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I say it's Japan, but let's face it.
I want to be clear here, Jesse. 14-year-olds are legal there.
Oh.
Yeah, Japan kind of sucks. Don't jump up that way.
Well, to be fair, I bemoan Japan, but let's face it, here in America, it's pretty infected at this point.
Dude, Catholicism, teachers, all that shit. Any person in a position of power over children, they tend to exploit it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not in the heaviest ways. I'll be real, right? Like, I've never done anything explicit or anything like that, but, like, I won't say that I haven't used my power to say, hey, do this chore for me in the classroom to a student. because I didn't want to do it. And even that tiny sounding thing is exploitation in some way.
Oh, yeah.
Now, was the student being a dickhole before I did that? Yes. That doesn't matter. I used my power.
To be fair, the other day at my work, I had one of my juniors come and help me with a project, even though I had no authority over him. I was just like, yo, come over here and help me out with this.
Well, that doesn't matter. That's a different dynamic, in my opinion.
I know, a little bit, but...
In like heavily different. Mine is I'm an authority figure. You're like over a child, right? And you're not.
To be fair, the age difference between me and him was the same age difference between you and your students, so...
That's irrelevant. Unless you got him to try to suck your dick or some shit, I think you're fine.
Alright, fair enough. This is still recorded, so... I think we should change. I think we should change subject before we start getting any too deep, like Joey talking about my junior sucking my dick or anything.
I mean, I said you didn't, basically, so I don't know what your issue is.
Ugh.
You're just like, is that what's on your mind, man? Come on, bro. Come on, Jesse.
Oh.
But no. It's no big deal. I mean, bottom line is, as I said, you can just cut what you don't want to hear. It's a podcast, though. We don't give a fuck.
No, I will keep it. I was putting the brakes before we go any deeper than we were.
I didn't go that deep. But kind of deep.
Well, I'm not gonna say what kind of deep. I'm just saying, slippery slope of conversation says we stop now.
You're not fixing this, Jesse.
I know what.
Everything you say, I'm not going to say what kind of deep, Chuck. God damn it.
Listen, sometimes the deepness sneaks up on you and just comes in from behind and you can't control it.
Well, that's what Adele was singing about.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Oh, shit. All right. Actually, I think I'm running low on subjects, actually. Anything else you want to talk about?
Politics.
Politics? Oh, we get political? Oh, God.
Yeah, why the fuck not? I already mentioned that we should to Izzy before, and he never started something up because he was always busy. And so I'm like, okay. But, like, I got you here. I might as well staple you down to the ground and make you listen to my bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, what do you got to say?
You heard about how Trump got booed?
Oh, yeah. Okay, you probably saw this with the bleach drinking ceremonies they have. I think they've officially become a cult. Like, I know we've joked about it with, like, cult behavior.
I was never joking. I was never joking. Like, I'm going to be clear. The only thing that's happening right now is the cult is overextending past the cult leader.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the moment he said something that didn't align with the cult's beliefs, they booed him, even though he's the supposed leader.
To be fair, this wasn't the first time they did that. They did that with the hang Mike Pence chant. With the moment one of their leaders was like, I think Biden won. Boom, they try to hang him.
Let's be clear. Pence is one thing, right? Pence, sure, he's up there, but he's not Trump.
I know, but he was definitely the first sign that they would do that to Trump at the moment.
It was a whisper, if anything. Yeah, it was not nearly as... Because let's be good. It's called Trumpism, not Penceism.
To be fair, everything we've seen has had whispers beforehand.
Possibly. I mean,
that's how it builds up, you know. It's like...
I knew it would come to this because it is a cult.
Oh, yeah.
I knew.
Oh, yeah.
I figured. But did I want it to? Here's the big thing, right? We always hope that people will stop being dildos and start being good people, right?
Yeah, I always think that even if they don't want to be good people, they would at least think. But
they didn't.
Nope. They didn't want to be a good person, and they didn't want to think.
And they think they're being good people. That's the scariest part. They think they're being wonderful people. They think they're standing up for people.
Standing up for laziness, honestly.
They're standing up on the toilet. That's the only thing that's happening right now. I don't know. It's one of those things where, you know, Rajneeshpuram in real time. Rajneeshpuram was an Indian yoga convent back in the 70s, and it tried to assassinate and take over a town next door so they could make a foothold in America with their cult beliefs.
Yeah.
Which was basically a sex slavery cult.
See, the thing about that story is, like, that cult's not big enough to actually do anything super dangerous on a large scale. Yeah, town is bad, but I'm sure once they took over the town, somebody would actually come in and stop them. The problem with the Trump people is that they're big enough to actually cause some real fucking damage.
Oh, big enough? Let's say widespread, because big is easy to misconstrue. Like maybe they're just a big dot in the center of the country. So, no, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Well, about 50% of America still votes for Trump.
50% of the people that vote for Trump. A lot of people don't vote, and those people are dildos.
That's true. Well,
vote for people that you care about so that we can stop being a fucking red and blue country, damn it.
Well, Joey, this kind of reminds me of the trolley problem, and one thing people kind of forget about the trolley problem. So a lot of people, when they see one person on one side, that if you hit the switch, you hit, and three people on your tracks that if you don't hit the switch, they would say, I choose not to hit the switch because I shouldn't have anything to do with it. Not choosing is still a choice. You are still actively choosing to hit those three people by not hitting the switch.
Yep.
And deciding not to choose.
The moment you don't realize that you can look behind you and put it in reverse and there are other paths to take is the moment you've fucked up.
Yeah.
Because that's the big thing, is that everybody's looking tunnel vision forward towards these two people in every election. Let's be clear. It's not even just the last two, right? In every election. And you can take the trolley, put it in reverse, and there's like a bunch of other people to choose from.
There's a rock that you could put, there's a metal pipe you could put right in front, jam right in front of you to send the trolley going, careening in a different direction. Probably killing you, but at least you didn't kill those other people.
Well, yeah, no, it's I mean, obviously it's better to kill yourself than kill somebody else.
But I will say, the make whichever decision you want if you truly believe, but at least look for other solutions first. If it really comes down to one or the other, then yes, choose the one, but at least try every other option you can first.
And there is going to be condemnation if you don't make a choice. There is.
Yeah,
and it's
because not making a choice is a choice.
Exactly, and it's justifiable. Because bottom line is this: if you can't find somebody that you like, that's fine. But if you can find, like, everybody can find somebody they can accept. In the entire swath of people going, like, Vermin Supreme exists.
Listen, Biden's a terrible fucking president. He is useless. But
he's a Republican.
But god damn it, he's so much better than Trump was.
Well, okay, I'm gonna stop you. I hate that argument. He's awful. He's still just awful. As bad.
And I will say, in any other world, I will vote for anyone else. Except for Trump.
Bottom line is this. We live in a country where everybody has to vote for who they believe in, and then it will be a blue versus green instead of a blue versus red.
That's what I would love to.
But that's not what this is right now. What this is right now is a dark money infested, racist versus racist race. And they're both nearly equitably awful. One feeds you from his hand while he slaps you with the other. And one just slaps you.
Bringing it back to the trolley problem, we're in a situation where even if you and I look backwards for the reverse switch, if everyone else doesn't, then we're not hitting that reverse switch.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the unfortunate problem we're in right now.
I mean, Biden is building the wall still.
Oh my god, he is? Actually, yeah. I have recent report, he still got the kids in cages.
Yeah, of course he does. Because, dude, his president put them in cages.
Ugh.
Bottom line is this. Corporate Dems are not Democrats.
They're not.
Corporate
They're
Dems don't give a
Republicans.
shit about you. You know what? They'll care about the kid that is in front of them and then stop caring once they leave their sight.
A lot of people are giving shit to Manchin, but I'm just like, everyone believes that he's just wearing it on the sleeve.
Yeah, no, that's what corporate Dems are. Bottom line is this. Ilhan Omar, AOC, sure, they're not as left-wing as I'd like them to be, but they're way better than what we have.
So much better.
They are. And obviously, as everybody who's listening has probably figured by now, yes, we are left-leaning people. And that's okay. I am of the mind that people should be able to exist without having to feel like they owe everybody something. You shouldn't have to die for existing. You should be able to live a life that's comfortable and then look to gain more if you want.
One thing I will always say to people who criticize people who are on the left, I will always lay out the option. The far right people who we had in office didn't work, and the middle people who were in office didn't work. So who do we think we should try next?
See, but that's it's like talking to a Trumper at that point. Even if they consider themselves corporate Dem or liberal at that point, they become a Trumper.
I know. They like melt down. They're like, "Oh, I want my guy."
Yeah, their feet melt into the ground. They won't move. They won't shift. They won't realize that logic is in play at that point, and their logic is wrong.
Do you know what I always think of it like this when old Elizabeth Warren, back when she was pretending to be all green and not a corporate Democrat, I was like, I was kind of I know. But like back then I was like, I kind of accept her, but the moment she came out as a not a good person, I was just like,
she's a capitalist.
I know, as a capitalist, as a person who, one of the corporatists, immediately I was just like, all right, she's just not my person. I didn't try to defend her. I didn't try to be like, my choice previously was good. I was just like, erase her from my brain.
Well, yeah, no, you just realize that people are playing identity politics.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing I want to stress here is that I am for a woman, any type of person of color, any LGBTQIA plus person in the White House, as long as they are not themselves fucked. I will never. I draw the line at identity politics. I hate that. I think that it lessens our mentality on what is good, and narrow and boils it down to what you are.
Literally, all of Harris's qualifications was she's a woman, she's sort of black, and that's it.
but nobody look at the other shit. She's a cop.
Ugh.
During the riots, her whole thing that she would gloat about was that she put a bunch of fucking people in jail for shitty reasons, and she gloat about it. She's an awful person. Identity politics are toxic, and they need to be ousted from this country if we're ever going to move forward. Because we have good women that could run this country. We have good trans women and men that could run this country. We have good NB people that could run this country.
We have good white people who could run this country. Anyone who's actually good would be good for this country.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who.
Oh, I know. I'm just pointing out,
oh, I know.
We do have good people that could run this country. But the moment, you turn into an Uncle Ruckus, and that's a term that was used during the riots in Minnesota for any African-American gentleman or female that would be racist towards their own people. If you're being an Uncle Ruckus, you're not that. You're not the right person. And that's what Kamala Harris is. She's an Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah. That just reminds me of old Bernie. A lot of people gave shit for Bernie for being an old white dude. I'm like, but Bernie's great.
Well, he's not as far left as I'd want him to be.
He's not as far left, and sometimes he's a little bit too weak-willed. But honestly, still pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, the last two elections, he was the one I would have voted for, and I voted for him before the primaries. but I can't vote for him anymore because he's old enough now where he might die. I'm going to look for somebody else. If there's nobody else to vote for, I'm going to vote for him if he runs again. Don't get me wrong. But I'm looking for somebody who has similar values.
Well, just remember with Bernie, with the presidency, Bernie dies, well, then just his vice president comes in. So
maybe
if your big concern is Bernie might die, then just look at his vice president.
Well, that's irrelevant to me as well, because usually what happens is, who was his vice president last time? It should have been AOC, but it couldn't be AOC.
Oh, yeah.
If it's AOC, I'm all there. You know, if there's any other big names that come out, maybe Vermin Supreme wants to do one last ride, I'm all there. But it's got to be somebody who's left enough for me.
The problem is the main body of the Democrats is still the main body, is still the corporatists. So they'll push him down as much as possible and make it impossible. So what really matters is that we got to get the freaking senators in the seats. We got to push out the corporate dudes.
Oh, the senators in the House, we got to fill them. And then we got to figure out how to make Supreme Court have term limits and push that. Because once we can do that, we can put people in those seats that matter too. And then once all those matter, we can put people in the White House that matter. And we can make sure that they can get shit done. Because the bottom line is this. One wheel off the spoke in this fucking thing, and it's screwed.
We've already democracy, lost several other wheels. Let me tell you that.
Democracy's a fucky thing in this country.
It was built bad, actually. That's what a lot of people don't seem to realize, is a lot of this stuff was built bad to begin with.
Yeah. It's not an ideal system.
You look at some other countries that have more functioning democracies, they built theirs better.
Well, you know how China talks about their system, how it's infallible?
No.
That's okay, so China talks about their system as if it's infallible.
Yeah, I know they talk about it's infallible. I'm just like, no, it's not.
Well, yeah, no, that's the same thing that we do. We talk about it as if it's infallible.
I know. Oh, North Korea does it too.
I'd say North Korea is a little bit of a hop and a skip away from us. They're probably a little worse than we are.
But yeah, China's whole modus operation is to pretend like nothing they do is wrong ever.
Well, because it's easier to do it that way than to realize, okay, we need to change shit. Because power.
But meanwhile, freaking Taiwan is partially escaped from them. Freaking Hong Kong is freaking fighting them with every step of their way. I'm pretty sure a lot of other parts of the country, as I've been hearing, but have been like unsettled. I don't know. So I don't know. A lot of China's biggest enemy is inside of them, really, and that's because their system sucks. Joey?
Yeah, I mean, China's whole thing is that they have this whole perception of themselves. And the perception comes from the fact that, like, honor dictates that you will always be great.
Oh, yeah.
Heritage dictates that you will always be great. And the sad thing, like, this is why JonTron's so hard to watch now, too, is that legacy, honor, heritage, the things that your ancestors grew up on, aren't always the right things to do.
Oh, yeah. You don't just do what people did in the past because it worked, because the times are different. What worked in the past doesn't work for now. But
I don't know. It's one of those things where,
well, like, here's a sting for the past. China took over Africa's national airport off of Derailed.
Yep.
And
right.
It seems like
Russia's
they're trying to set up.
Ukraine's border.
I know, and it sounds like they're trying to set up like a massive debt crisis around the world in order to do colonialism to spread their influence. But I'm just like, that didn't work in the past. It ain't gonna work this time. That shit's not gonna stick as well as you think. Especially in the modern day where people realize how bullshit it is.
The only thing that matters about it is if they can force it. And it's hard for us to retaliate, too, because it's so far away. And right now, Russia's under our eyes, so it's not like we could stop them. And also, we pulled out troops from the Middle East, so we don't have a foothold there no more.
Ugh.
So it's not like we can jump force. And I'm gonna pivot here. Say, I think that we should not be in the Middle East. I agree. I think that the way we pulled out was dumb because obviously we didn't dictate anything with the tribes that were surrounding the nation, which is why the Taliban was able to get a foothold.
I think we should have been in the Middle East, but as people who are actually fixing problems, not creating them, like China.
Well, that's the problem. Is our existence there was creating problems.
Well,
because we were an invading country.
I know.
So the bottom line here is there was the right way to pull out and a wrong way. The right way would have been to ingratiate ourselves to the tribes surrounding the country, because the entire reason the Taliban gained their power back is because they engorged their people with the tribes of the nation.
Well, yeah, the Taliban knew how to please people in the Middle East.
Okay, so bottom line is we never tried to do that ever. We just blew up shit around their tribes.
And then China's getting a foothold because they're coming in and fixing up what we blew up. Yep. We're the ones who created that vacuum of stuff that needs fixing.
Yeah, no, it's turning back into the early AD decade. Where China was getting a bunch of footholds all over.
Won't stick because China will overexert itself like it's done in the past.
No, it won't. It'll kill everybody and take over.
Maybe. We'll see.
Bottom line is this: because China's never tried open warfare against Taiwan. If they wanted to, they could just bomb them, take it over, and then repopulate it. They have enough people. They don't care. What they're trying to do is they're trying to ingratiate themselves to indoctrinate the people of Taiwan to themselves and dictate that they are all one great China, making themselves the good guys on the world stage. This is all global politics.
I know.
The problem is that China is in a rough patch purely because Taiwan hates China.
I think that's going to happen for a lot of the places they go to. They're going to ingratiate themselves, try to do the same thing they're doing with Taiwan, and I think it's going to have the opposite effect of what they're thinking it's going to do.
It depends.
It depends. I'm not saying it's not. It probably will work in some places in the world, but it won't work in all the places. If it doesn't work in all the places, then they're going to spread themselves thin.
Saying that China can spread itself thin is a very big statement, as it's the most populated nation in the world. So I'd say that's pretty hard for them to do.
Yeah. There's more to thinness than just population density.
Oh, no, but that's military density, is you need to keep in mind is population density equates to military density.
I suppose.
Like, even if just for foot soldiers, but like their military is one of the 3 fearful powers in the world purely because of the amount of boots they can put on the ground.
Russia's like that too. That's basically how they won World War II.
Russia's fear tactics. They're willing to kill themselves to kill everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Us, we're technologically more advanced militaristically than everybody else. So that's where our fear tactic comes in.
Unfortunately, we haven't been investing the money well enough into our research. We've been doing poor jobs with it. With that whole technological aspect.
We've got some pretty crazy shit. I had a boss who worked in the military in R&D.
We've definitely got crazy shit in the works, and let me tell you, if we could instead of spending it all on the wars, just spend it on R&D, that would pretty much have the same effect without all the blowing stuff up.
Well, what I'll say is there's some shit that like is practical and simple and dangerous.
Oh yeah.
There's a sound gun that can make somebody die from vomiting from a mile away.
Dude, they have railguns and lasers now.
Railguns disintegrate themselves. Those are useless in actual warfare.
I know, but they have them.
But,
that's rad as fuck.
What I was going to say is there's this one bunker buster. It's a city buster, actually. Basically, what they do is they put a rocket in orbit with a metal spike strapped to it. They drop it from orbit.
Yeah, we don't.
But it can move to whatever position, and it destroys a city.
Yeah, we don't need nukes anymore.
With no fire, no combustion, just a stick.
Big sticks in sky.
That's all it takes.
That actually literally just happened in an anime.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It, but one of the characters basically did magical bunker buster, killed the guy.
But that's about 6 or 7 years ago now that was reported to be made.
Yeah.
So like 6-7 years of R&D for a bloated military, definitely they do make things that kill people very well. I will say American military has made a bunch of shit that can kill people. And that's probably the reason why I don't like our country so much, is because a lot of our budget is based on killing people.
Oh, I know. Well, not a good situation. But honestly, that's probably why we don't need such a bloated military budget. We don't need that many boots on the ground when we have so many effective ways.
Oh, no, we don't, because we have 3 times the next top 10 military budgets in the world combined.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're our military budget, we could cut that thing into 1/5 of what it is, still have a high-ass military budget, be able to put that everywhere else and be more advanced in everything than everybody else in the world, because we are technically the richest nation in the world.
We built that super fighter jet. Well, now we have super fighter jets. We don't need to build more fighter jets. We're good.
If we found more ways to make it easy for grown organs to be created.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's one thing that would be nice.
You know,
because that's something that I don't know how to do.
One thing is the military used to put a lot of money into the medical field simply because it kept its soldiers alive. Imagine if we could regrow organs and keep our soldiers alive.
See, regrowing organs is already a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bottom line is that they're just so expensive to do. And like before then, they were doing it on rats, which is totally unethical. But like they could do it off of like on non sentient surfaces.
Oh, they've been making non-sentient flesh like stuff that you can grow stuff off of. Like they've been making like fake skin that you could put into like a tube, and then you can like grow stem cells off of, grow like body parts off of. I can't remember. But yeah, they're working, and I remember that stuff was like really early, but like, yeah, if you could just make a hand that you stick in a lab and then grow stuff off of the hand, grow more hands off of the hand.
Well, see, the trick here is, like, if we expanded our research, I bet you we could figure out a way to map the nerve bundles and the blood vessels and all that shit and find a way to connect them properly.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's the trick here is if somebody who was born without a hand could just have a hand, I'd want them to.
Yeah. That'd be great too.
If we could have a way to, Izzy mentioned it in the chat, but like if we could find a way to get a metal arm that like is more proficient than our flesh hand, sure.
Dude, I always say the first time cybernetic implants come in, I'm first in line, dude. I want a robo hand. Let's do it.
Yeah. But either way, that's the end of my topics for right now.
Yeah, we've gone to political. We've been talking for like 2 hours.
There you go. All right.
That's a good podcast.
All righty.
All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed our deep political talk after Smash Bros.
All more to talk about next time. Don't worry. Video games and politics, bro.
Don't forget the anime we've mentioned from last time.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'll be next time. Politics, anime, and video games, bro.
All right.
All right.
Bye.